You want to see something really scary?
You bet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is really, really scary now.
I trust you.
Hello, Internet fans. It's your old pal Rottin Roger DeMarco here from RepulsiveReviews.com. This video, we're going to talk about David Gordon Green's 2018 film, Halloween. So here's the plot breakdown. 40 years after the events of the original Halloween, completely erasing the rest of the franchise, we meet up with Laurie Strode, who has become a total recluse, preparing for Michael Myers' escape. Michael Myers escapes and comes after her to finish what he started 4 decades ago. I just got back from seeing this. This is not going to be a very in-depth review because I don't want to spoil anything. I just had to let you guys know how I felt about this movie. But before I get into any of the other details about the film, first, let's take a look at Rottin Roger's Splatter Facts. Spoiler alert, you have been warned. I'm going to say things that you might not want to hear. Stop now, or fucking deal with it. We have 17 dead bodies. We have 2 titties. Flashback titties. We've seen them before, but they look good on a big screen. The methods of death include, but are not limited to, broken neck, smashed face, hammered, choked, stabbed in the neck, stomped, and jack-chopped. My overall feelings of this movie. I'm riding a high. I saw a midnight screening last night. It was amazing to see Michael Myers back. There's so much nostalgia packed in this movie with tons of little nods to the original franchise, but not in like an obnoxiously, haha, look how fucking clever we are way. It really seems like it's done with a lot of love and respect for the franchise, even though it's taking a step back and rewriting the history, which this franchise is no stranger to, just forgetting 2 or 3 previous installments. So that shouldn't come as a shock, although I feel that just the average fan who does not follow this franchise as closely as like the big horror heads is gonna have some sort of trouble trying to keep everything straight. This completely negates the rest of the franchise, okay? So Michael Myers is not related to Laurie Strode. You have to get that out of your head. He didn't come after her at the college. She did not cut off the wrong person's head. All of these things are wrong. Jamie Lloyd is not her daughter. She has a different daughter in this universe now. I think that the way that they went with this film is really what horror needs right now. We had an amazing score by John Carpenter. We had fantastic tension being built. The pacing of this movie was so on point, where we did get the systematic bumping off of characters, but it was done in such a way to where we had long over-the-shoulder Steadicam shots following Michael Myers, and you get this sense of dread, this sense of impending doom, like he has a destination and he will not stop until he reaches it. There's so many subtle layers to this movie with the new Laurie Strode. She's an agoraphobic, alcoholic, fucking Rambo. She spent the last 40 years of her life preparing for him to escape. We have some theories about the escape, but I'm going to save them because I know that a sequel will be announced. David Gordon Green and Danny McBride are already preparing a sequel. This movie was going to be way longer. The original cut was something like 2 hours and 15, 2 hours and 20 minutes, and they trimmed it way back to the runtime of about an hour and a half. So we know that there's some stuff in there that they're dying to give us, and I can't wait for a Blu-ray release to see this stuff added back in. Judy Greer plays Karen, which is Laurie Strode's daughter. To me, out of everyone in the film, she felt like the weakest link. Not to say that she does a bad job with what she's doing. Her character, I know we're supposed to not enjoy her very much. She does not believe in the way she was raised. She thinks Laurie is a terrible mom and is crazy for preparing for something that in their eyes is never going to happen. And when it does finally happen, she rises to the occasion, but the character arc that she has irritates me. That's the biggest worry I have, I suppose, in this movie. That there's one character that I I want to die. Will Patton, who plays Officer Hawkins, has a fantastic character in this movie, and him and Jamie Lee Curtis have some great scenes together, creating really nice chemistry where you actually care for his character and you realize that he's sort of this new Sheriff Brackett looking out for Lori, and he is going to do his best to keep her safe and keep her family safe and just keep Haddonfield safe in general. And he really shines. This movie also ramps up the body count like later films in the franchise did, because in the original we only had a handful of victims. In this movie, like I said, we have 17. So it satisfies that popcorn movie experience that we all want. And I think that if you call yourself a horror fan and you don't go see this movie on or around Halloween, you're really missing out. Because if they don't do a sequel and we have to wait for another reboot or something of that nature, who knows how many years it could be. So this is your chance. If you have not seen Michael Myers on the big screen, you have got to go do this. In my personal opinion, maybe because I stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning to see this movie, and I have been waiting, and I've been trying not to watch any of the extra trailers, I'm going to have to give this movie 4 out of 5 blood drops, because it lived up to the hype that everyone was putting behind it. I was super worried about the Blumhouse label being attached, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Nick Castle comes back as the Shape at 70 years old and does the unmasked scenes and has a few little spots here and there as the Shape. James Jude Courtney does awesome. He is scary, he is big, and he did not feel like a robot. Like some of the later Michael Myers, no personality whatsoever. And James Jude Courtney has that Nick Castle-esque, Dick Warlock, that vibe that you need to be afraid of him. He was not on screen to be silly. He was not on screen even to be rooted for. He was on screen to scare the fuck out of you. And I think that this movie does an awesome job of taking the franchise back to where it belongs. No white trash rednecks, no Busta Rhymes, no bullshit. Grassroots, fucking amazing, awesome horror that we need, and I'm so glad that it happened. Please go see this movie so it makes a ton of money so we get more. Do your part. Do not bootleg this movie, or I will beat you all up. I will fight you. Don't bootleg this movie. We can throw down. Pay for your ticket, you cheap fuck. The movie is out now. Go see it. I know I'm going to go see it a couple more times, because there's a lot of movies out there, and somebody's got to watch them. Why not me? Right?
Testing 1, 2, 3. We're on.
We're here to investigate a patient that killed 3 innocent teenagers on a Halloween in 1978. He was shot by his own psychiatrist and taken into custody that night, and has spent the last 40 years in captivity. Hello, Michael. I have something you might like to see.
Everyone in my family turns into a nutcase this time of year. Yeah, I mean, your grandmother is Laurie Strode. She was almost murdered.
Wasn't it her brother who murdered all those babysitters?
No, it was not her brother. That's something that people made up.
Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him.
Dad, look out!
The bus crashed.
Mom, what bus crashed?
Michael escaped.
Excuse me, somebody's in here.
Hello?
He's waited for this night. He's waited for me. I've waited for him. Get out of the room! Get inside! You don't believe in the boogeyman? He's here! Michael! You should.
Can you close the closet door?